Chow Down Chow or Random Gaming, depending on
Now
what you're
going into the
watching.
main card, um, I'll start again bottoms up, starting by Paige Vanzant versus Amanda Hebas. Now Paige Vanzant is on her last UFC contracted bout, and I think they're throwing her to a young, hungry wolf like Amanda Hebas, just to say goodbye. That's Dana's way of saying goodbye. If you look at the odds, Amanda Hebas is a minus 950 favorite, which is insane, but probably correct. So, if you want to win some big money, go bet on Paige Vanzant. I wouldn't do that. I think this fight Hebas has in the bag, and Vanzant can go elsewhere and go to Bellator and fight once a year and does all her Instagram stuff. It's whatever. It's not going to be a too exciting of a fight. It's just the name recognition. It's still there to put it on the main card. Now for the fourth fight of the main card, Jessica Andrade Rose Namajunas 2. The first fight was back and forth. Rose Namajunas won every single minute until she got slammed on her head and lost consciousness. So, given that she probably made the necessary adjustments as to that wouldn't happen again, I'm going to go with Rose Namajunas in this one because she's clearly better technically than Jessica Andrade. Just by looking at their last fight, she's clearly better. So the only chance Andrade has of winning is either by knocking her out, which we all know she has the capability to do, or slamming her so she loses consciousness, which both could happen. Both could happen. That's what justifies her being only a slight underdog. If she doesn't have the power, Rose Namajunas would run through her, but she does. It's a Deontay Wilder situation. You never know. But I'm gonna go with Rose Namajunas. I think she probably has made all the necessary adjustments to avoid one of those situations, and she's just gonna technically pick her apart and get like a TKO finish in round 4. That's what I say. All right, now going into the title fights. First, bantamweight vacant title: Jose Aldo versus Petr. Now, Petr is a killer. He is probably the strongest, fastest, most ruthless competitor in the bantamweight division. And honestly, I think Jose Aldo. First of all, I still have doubts about whether he can make the cut, especially traveling all the way to Abu Dhabi. Can he make weight? I don't know. I have a lot of doubts about that. But even if he can, I don't think he's proven enough in the bantamweight division to warrant a title shot, to warrant being compared as someone who's worthy of a competitor like Petr. Now, we all know his pedigree. He's the greatest featherweight of all time. You can argue that. He's got all the skills, the explosiveness, the leg kicks, So I'm not saying he doesn't have a chance to win. If he pulls off a vintage Jose Aldo performance, he turns back the clock 10 years, he could win. But any sensible man would go with Petr on this one because he really has no mercy. Look at the way he finished Uriah Faber. He's not going to care about Jose Aldo's feelings and his status. I think it's going to... My own intuition on this fight is that it's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be complete domination by Petr, probably leading to a TKO finish in the third. That's what I think. But of course, I'm not trying to disrespect Jose Aldo here. But that's just my prediction as to how the fight is going to go down. Now, a really interesting fight, in my eyes, is Volkanovski Holloway 2. Volkanovski outpointed Holloway the last time. I think anyone with eyes can see that. I think Volkanovski last time won 3 rounds to Max Holloway's 2, but Volkanovski was clearly fading in the later rounds. And his best weapon in the fight was the leg kicks. Nothing else but the leg kicks hurt Max Holloway. And I think Holloway sort of took it slowly. He didn't have that aggression and that motivation to go out and finish Volkanovski. And plus, in his mind, he probably thought he was winning, so he kind of cruised to a decision where he lost. But this is going to be a different Max Holloway. This is going to be a Max Holloway that wants to win that belt. The Max Holloway that came into the first Jose Aldo meeting and completely dismantled him. I think this is going to be one of the best Max Holloways that we've ever seen. And as long as he fixes the problem of getting hit with those lead leg kicks of Volkanovski and get into boxing range, or just use his educated jab and excellent boxing to keep Volkanovski at bay, I think Holloway could win this fight. I think this is the upset. I don't get how Volkanovski is a favorite. Come on, Max Holloway is the greatest featherweight champion of all time. We can at least give him the respect of not having him be an underdog. But the truth of the matter is, I think this is Max Holloway's time. I think he can come in with that hunger that we haven't seen for a while. He was a champion for too long. Sort of coasted through the last contest. I think we're going to see a finish from Max Holloway in rounds 3 or rounds 4 when the pressure of his boxing will overwhelm Volkanovski. That's what I honestly think. But then again, the city kickboxing folks, they know what they're doing. Maybe they'll come back with a totally different game plan. Who knows? Maybe a wrestling-heavy offensive this time for Volkanovski. I don't know. But in my mind, I think Max Holloway has the hunger and the technique to go ahead and pull off this upset. That's what I honestly believe. All right. So yeah, Max Holloway TKO round 4, probably, or round 5. All right, now going into the contest at the top of the bill, Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns. Now Gilbert Burns, by a win over Tyron Woodley, leapfrogged everyone. Plus Masvidal wanted the money. UFC was like, bye, Gilbert Burns would do this for pennies on the dollar. We'll just go with him, whatever. So they're feeding him to Kamaru Usman. And I think the odds are probably about right. I think anyone who has seen Usman versus Covington and Usman versus Woodley would probably understand why Usman is a favorite. First of all, Usman is a great wrestler. People are saying Gilbert Burns has really good grappling, really good wrestling. But what they don't understand is Kamaru Usman is a fantastic wrestler. All right? And as long as he's trained enough jiu-jitsu to keep himself out of trouble on the ground, he can take Burns down over and over again and just sit on top of him and outpoint him that way. In fact, that's how I think the fight is going to go down. I think that's what Kamaru Usman wants to do. All right? Because first of all, Gilbert Burns, we've seen it. He has heavy hands. When Usman was fighting Covington, you're not in the fear of getting knocked out. But when you're fighting Gilbert Burns, you could get knocked out. So, he's probably going to try to avoid the hands of Gilbert Burns. So what does that leave him with? That leaves him with fantastic wrestling. So I think he's going to use a very wrestling-heavy offense to go ahead and take Burns down over and over again and just control him that way, control the fight on the ground. And like I said, as long as he can keep himself out of trouble, I think he can outpoint Gilbert Burns and win the fight that way. As for Gilbert Burns, his best weapon, first of all, is on the feet, honestly. Kamaru Usman is a great boxer. We've seen that in Colby Covington fight. But I think Burns has the big shots. He has the proven track record of just putting people out, right? So he's going to have that confidence in his hands. So I think on the stand-up side, Gilbert Burns probably has a slight advantage in the power and the technique side of things. But who knows how Usman, all his training with Justin Gaethje and all that, how that has changed his boxing style. Who knows? Maybe he'll go on a Justin Gaethje offensive and just, kick the hell out of Gilbert Burns' legs. Maybe that could happen. Who knows? But honestly, I think the best chance Gilbert Burns has is use his grappling. Kamaru Usman, I think, is going to no doubt try to wrestle you, Gilbert Burns. What you got to do is sharpen your jiu-jitsu. Whenever he shoots in on a double leg, shoots in on a single leg, grab a hold of the neck and choke him out. I think that's your best chance at winning. And then you're gonna become the welterweight champion of the world. So, yeah, I think Gilbert Burns, his best chance of winning is either by a huge shot knockout or snatching up a neck and using his jiu-jitsu to put Kamaru Usman away, which I think is a real possibility. Because, like I've already broken it down, I think Kamaru Usman is going to come in with a really heavy wrestling offense. And that means a lot of time on the ground. And he's probably going to stay in Gilbert's guard. Solid defense, not trying to do anything to expose himself. But if he does slip up, Gilbert Burns, you're a whatever, like a 2-3 time world jiu-jitsu champion. Snatch him up. Finish him. This is a fantastic fight. I think there's a lot of intriguing stuff within this matchup to talk about, all the different skill sets that these two men have, all the different areas that they excel at. Just an interesting fight. I think any educated MMA fan will probably say Usman pulls out the decision. I think that's probably what's going to happen. Usman pulls out the decision. It's probably going to be a boring ground affair. But it is intriguing as to what will happen before the fight. It's one of those fights where it's like, oh, this is so interesting. What's going to go down? And then it's going to be boring as hell. It's like Jacare versus Jan Blachowicz. It's going to be boring as hell. Person who should win will grind out his decision. That's probably.
Congratulations! You've made it through the video. Now, go subscribe to all the links down below, comment, and hit that like button, and I will see you all in the next one.